Welcome to Hope in the Face of Cancer, where we share real stories of courageous people and their cancer journey. Every once in a while, you meet someone whose story stops you in your tracks, not because of the hardship alone, but because of the way they chose to move through it. Sandy Duarte is an award-winning actress, writer, producer, yogi, and now a sound healing practitioner. She's also a stage 4 non-Hodgkin's lymphoma survivor who empowers individuals to find strength and community in their struggles, to find purpose through pain. Her book, Cancer Ramblings, From Why to Why Not, is a raw and reflective collection of thoughts she wrote during treatment. It's a window into the emotional, physical, and spiritual experience of walking through cancer and coming out transformed. In this conversation, Sandy will share her experience of diagnosis, healing, writing, and discovering sound as a powerful tool for healing. We're so grateful to welcome her to the podcast. Sandy, thank you for being here and sharing your story with us today.
Oh my gosh, you made me emotional with that opening. To be honest, I'm like, I can't start crying now over the intro. Darcy.
Well, and we had to cut out so much because you've got such an amazing story. So you were amazing, and we're so honored to have you.
It's an honor, Darcy, and to speak with you and Julian earlier. And thank you for having me. There's so many stories out there. So for making time for mine, I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Oh, I'm so excited for our audience to get to know you and to explore your life. So I'd love to start with an outlook, before cancer. You're a multidisciplinary artist. Tell us a little bit about just what makes you tick and your passions, and so we can get to know you better.
Oh my gosh, I've always had a passion for storytelling.
Mm,
So it kind of, it's got many tentacles when it comes to storytelling. Storytelling isn't linear. It comes in different
mm,
shapes and forms. And so I started off very much like in the fashion industry, and then
mm.
that was extended outside of me. And I thought I want to do something more within me, and then started to get into acting and did some theater and with an incredible team in Canada and an incredible playwright, and that got me a Dora Award, which is like the U.S. the Tony Award, and that allowed me
Yeah.
to U.S. to immigrate here, and along the journey, I wanted to do more and deepen my something else that was just ticking within me, which was the wellness arts. I
Mm,
love yoga. I love moving your body, and that was always a part of my life, because before you go on stage, you got to find that meditative Zen,
yeah.
you got to and so it all came together, and I just kind of live my life where stay open to what speaks to you, and that you don't necessarily have to drop one thing to be this thing. They can all
Mm,
coexist. It's all information on your journey of life. Business informs art, art informs business. So I feel like nothing is a waste. And now
mm.
I'm really just I label myself a creative and wellness artist, because that's kind of the
Mm.
world I'm in, and yeah, that's me in a nutshell.
Oh, I love it. I love it. And I love how you just go after new things with such passion. So, a number of years ago, some things started to change in your life,
Mhm.
and you had a bit of an awakening. Maybe an unwelcome guest, came to visit. Tell us a little bit about that. How did you learn of your diagnosis?
Oh my gosh. It's the class I never signed up for.
Mm,
Life has a way of being like, you're gonna this is it. This is what you got, And the most powerful transformative thing is when you're placed in a position where you have no choice but to walk through
mm,
that fire.
mm.
There is no, it's not comfortable, I'm gonna go this way.
Right.
When your choice is removed, you have one choice in how you choose to guide yourself through it. You can't change the circumstance too much, but you got to go through it. I was really surprised. I was living before COVID. I was doing a lot of the back and forth. So
Yeah.
Canada, US, Los Angeles, Toronto. And so every time I came to the West Coast, I would get something bronchial, like a little
Mm.
something in my lungs. It's a different climate, East Coast to
Right.
West. It's very different. Someone told me, I'm like, yeah, that makes so much sense. We forget we're on a plane, but just because we're on a plane and it's 4 hours doesn't mean, I mean, there's still so much drastic difference within the
Yeah.
landscape. And so I was used to kind of having that and just take antibiotics. Anyways, 2023, I got back to Los Angeles, June. Come about November, I start to get that feeling again. I thought, it's that time of year again, the winter in
Right.
LA. And so I didn't take it too serious, but my health started to decline a lot, got worse and worse. I thought, okay, this is not good. Got antibiotics. I thought, man, I got really bad pneumonia or something. What's going on? And I'm not one that rushes to the doctor. I'm not
Yeah.
really, I'd like to see what my body does and give it a chance, but it really got bad. So by the time December came, January, towards January, February, I couldn't even really teach anymore because I was so gassed. I had no ability and I was getting really weak. So I was declining in my work. And I thought, this is not right. Something's not right here. I couldn't even move my car. I had a friend having to move the steering wheel. I remember that time.
Wow.
And I'm like, I need to go see a doctor now. Now my body's screaming at me. So my doctor has me go for an MRI. I'm still thinking it's pneumonia, bronchitis, a lung thing. And results come back. I get a call, and she's got that voice you hear in the movies. And I'm
Mm.
like, this doesn't sound so good. She goes, they want to see you again. Okay, fine. I go back. Second MRI, same thing. She calls me again. This is family doctor, primary, this stuff. She says, this is beyond me. She goes, you need to go to the hospital right now. You have a huge
Wow.
mass. And I'm like, really? I'm like, what? So I'm still thinking maybe it's I'm not thinking cancer at all.
Right.
I'm thinking maybe it's just like a growth or something, whatever. So anyway, I go to the hospital and I never left. They brought
Oh,
me in and I thought I was going in for a biopsy, a quickie in and out. I have no idea. I never left. I was 2 weeks in the most wild ride. Invasive, invasive because it had to be
yeah.
biopsies, all eyes open. And I needed that window because they were doing every test under the sun. And then they did the biopsy, the thing through the chest, your eyes
Yeah.
are open, then you have to wait several days because there's so many cancers out there. And then finally, 2 weeks later, I get the diagnosis. My oncologist walks in, one of a team, many, and just says, hey, you have cancer. And the first thing I said is I dropped an F-bomb. I'm like, what the F? Like literally, and I stared at him like, are you? And it
Wow.
drops on you. That's, and then the journey begins from there. So what happened was the mass that I had was a huge mass, like 10 by 15 mass. It collapsed my left lung. That's
Oh
why I
my
couldn't
goodness.
breathe. That's why I had no lung. And that's why I had all these terrible symptoms and sweats and all the stuff. And so yeah, it wasn't anything to do with bronchitis or pneumonia, it was cancer. It's a hard dish to be served out of the blue when you've lived a healthy life.
Yeah.
You take care of yourself, you check all the boxes for that stuff. But life has a way, of showing you something else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Surprise, right? Yes. So, what does treatment look like for non-Hodgkin's lymphoma?
Gosh, well, you know, how do I say this while being sensitive to your viewers? Cancer is rough. It's
Mm.
not a sweet trip. But I have a friend who's married to a doctor, and so we were talking before that. And he goes, "Let's hope that you have these three types of cancers." He's very straight up about it, as a doctor is. And I said, "Okay," because if they come back and you hear one of these three cancers, you kind of got the cancer lottery. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
if it was any other cancer, it would have been morbid, as my oncology team told me, because my it was really inside there in the organs, the vitals. So when he came back and he says, you have lymphoma, when they gave me the actual details outside of just the cancer, just like, I was like, yes, I just cheated. And they looked at me like I was crazy because I knew that I just knew deep down I had a really fighting chance because
Yeah.
lymphoma is very receptive to chemotherapy and I wouldn't need surgery in my
Hmm.
case. So my friend, the doctor, kind of, so I felt that positive hope from hearing that because if
Yes.
the other, who knows what my story would have been?
Yeah.
Who knows? I'm
I'm
not
sure
gonna.
your reaction was quite a surprise to your healthcare team. They
Oh
were
yeah,
like,
they
why,
were they
why
were
is she
shocked.
excited?
Yes, I it could have been anything else. And not that lymphoma or those that are suffering through this. I mean, I have friends in my life who have lost people to my cancer. So
Sure,
it's nothing's
absolutely.
a given or a guarantee, but it's the perspective of going, okay, there's a fighting chance by understanding which dragon are you slaying, you
Yeah.
know? Yeah.
Yeah. So it was obviously a shock to you. You didn't expect to hear the word cancer
No.
in all of this. Now you're at a place where you're hopeful and optimistic because you have some insights, that this is fightable. Kind of what is your mindset at this stage of the
Hmm.
game?
Hmm. Well, my mindset at first, let's say the first 2 days, 24 hours, 2 days, it's you're living in the wondering, you know?
Mm,
The wondering is an abyss. It's a bottomless pit of why. And so, eventually I had told my family who's in Canada, I had my sister tell my parents because it was a call I couldn't make.
yeah.
And it's not a call you want to receive as a parent. And my sister lives in my hometown. And so, and she's in healthcare. She's very strong and she has a mindset for handling these things very well. So she broke it to them. So after breaking it to them and sitting in the wondering and the why and letting people ask me why, the nurses, why you do yoga? You're so healthy. How does this happen? My
Mm,
mom, why? People asking why. After a little mini moment of that, my mindset shifted and I said, enough whys. I'm not going to live in this abyss, this pit of why. I don't give a flying, I
hmm.
don't care about the why. I'm going to go
Yeah.
to why not. I swear I went, I don't care. My oncology team came and they were going to lay out the plan. And I had 5 members, pulmonary, because my lung was out. So I was bringing back the life of a gone lung and dealing with cancer. And I looked at them and I said, guys, I'm with the finest minds here. All of you medical, wonderful hospital. UCLA minds, a mixed bag of great people. I said, you are some of the most brilliant minds in front of me. I don't need to know the details. I don't care about B to Y. Don't care. All I know is A to Z. I know what it is, and I know I'm walking out at the end. You guys take care of the middle. You fill it, and I'll take care of the end. So I shifted my mind to knowing I'm getting out of here. So you do the work, I do the work. Our work is different, it comes
Yeah.
together. And then I didn't let anybody else ask me why anymore. There's no more why.
Mm,
Could it have been this? Could it have been that? Could it have been something toxic? Could it have been? I'm done with why. If you live too much in a why, you can't find solutions. Your mind and your body can't repair itself to find solutions. So ask yourself, why not? Why not me?
What was that turning point? Because, you started out in this place, in a very different place, and you kind of had that light bulb moment. You flipped the switch. What was the trigger for you changing your mindset? And you just it's like one day you just decided, I'm going to think about this differently.
That's a hard question to answer, Darcy.
Yeah.
That falls in the realm of unanswerable.
Yeah.
Like, intuition, whatever you believe in the divine, in healthy nudges, in knowing that I am the captain of my ship now, and now I have to navigate myself forward powerfully. Because if I don't take charge of this, because the mind to me is much more challenging than cancer. My battle with cancer was one thing. My battle with the mind, going
Mm,
through this journey, it's a whole other beast, and why I started to
yes.
divinely start writing. And I had to have strong faith and meditation. I have a spot that I go to regularly when I was discharged from my in-betweens. I'd go to my meditation gardens and self-realization by an incredible yogi, Paramahansa Yogananda. I had to tap into nature, to the divine. I had to work with my cellular life. I had to keep my mind strong. Was it easy? Absolutely not. It was the most scary moments. You want to cry, it's scary. But you have to carry yourself. You have to keep realizing I am the boss. I need to navigate this whole thing forward. So I don't have an answer. It happened in a moment where I knew, all right, let's do it. Time to get on.
Yeah.
Because this isn't my story. I knew it wasn't my story. I said, I'm not done yet. I have more borrowed time. I just knew it. And this isn't to say that, listen, there's so many opposite endings. So I'm trying to be
Yeah.
sensitive to the fact that sometimes it's not that way, okay? But I had a choice. I see the door over there. How am I going to walk to that door? Am I going to walk and look around, enjoy the view, get to the door, put my hand on the doorknob? Or am I going to crawl, drag my knees, and get to, and then maybe I crawl up the door and maybe it opens, maybe it closes. Whether that door opened or not, for my survival, I had a choice how I'm going to get there on this
Mm.
borrowed time.
Yeah.
So I had to choose to vibrate my highest light. That's the only way I can tell you.
Yeah.
It was a very important decision. And it's not easy for everybody. And we're all different personalities and mindsets. And that's why I'm sensitive to that. And that's why I wrote the book for myself in the hardest hours, but to help those that perhaps are a different type of person than me,
Yeah.
with all due respect.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
So this book called Cancer Ramblings, I love the title,
Thank you.
really started out as your personal journal, right? During chemotherapy. Tell us a little bit more about that.
I love telling the story. A lot of people and friends are telling me, as I probably you've interviewed so many people, Darcy, you've probably, spoken to a lot of people who write, during
Yeah.
the thing. So there's nothing, revolutionary about what I'm doing. But I had a lot of people tell me, you should write, you should, and I'm like, I don't want to write about it. Who needs another cancer book? Who needs another cancer story? There's so many cancer stories. And I'm not a writer. And so, yeah, I didn't care to do that. The only writing I did was like my affirmations and the rituals that I did from my own mind and stuff. Anyways, one day I'm going for a walk, as I do, to get my steps in my floor, my fifth floor. And I take my chemo friend. She's got the nice shoes, the wheels. She's going with me. And we get our steps, the nurses know, there she goes, the speed runner, and I started getting these downloads, these downloads, these nudges, these titles coming, and I'm arguing with whoever you want to argue with, whether it's the divine, whether with yourself, and I'm like, no, I'm not writing a book. What? Like, I'm like, no, like, and then titles, and then terrible titles. No, and if I'm going to write a book, not that title. Like, that's what? And it was like this thing in my head, if you can imagine. And then finally, Cancer Ramblings landed. And I went, we're writing a book.
Wow.
So, Cancer Ramblings was the permission. It started with the title and the inception of the cover because it gave me permission to be sloppy, to not have to fall into, let's say, a proper box of what a writer is or writer
Yes.
knows. It gave me to permission to be messy, honest, and to just write. So it's like the nudge said, "Here you go, permission granted," and that inspired me. And then I just would write. I would write in the darkest hours. I would write in the weakest times, in the strongest times. I just put it out there. So it was done in real time from the beginning until I hear the word that I'm doing okay. And that first sign when you step into remission. That's the story of that book. Yeah, and I look back and I still read it. I still grab it because I need reminders now. And then I go, wow. Sometimes you don't even realize the person who wrote the book because we're different versions of ourselves in this life. And if you stay open to every sort of experience of life, good or bad, you're going to be surprised looking back, right? Where would we be without these hardships? So I look back, and that cancer year was the greatest gift to me. I don't know where I would be right now as an artist, a human, if I wasn't deepened by that gift. My father hates it when I say that, but I swear to you that I cherish cancer as this relationship I had that had to leave, but it granted me the most incredible teaching. The teacher of pain served me um, very well, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
danced with her. I allowed her a little bit, but then she had to go. We had to part ways, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So how did it change you?
Mm. You have a sorry.
No. It's real. I appreciate that.
Um, I don't think I'll ever stop crying about my teacher cancer.
Hmm.
She's incredible. Any pain can be a great source of teaching. Doesn't have to be cancer, could be anything. Any sort of loss can teach you if you lean into the teaching and lean less into the emotional state and judgment of it. Cancer, she taught me how to see life more, even more macro. So the little things that I like to call, and I have a friend who calls it, I love it, like the nonsense, just kind of fades away more. And I'm still a work in progress. We never kind of get there. It's a
Sure.
constantly it's a constant state of growth. We never stop till the end if we're alive, right? Till the end. That sentence makes sense, but it really deepened my ability to see life more macro. So it puts you in a much more forgiving state of being for self and for others. And it gives you such great compassion for your own temple. And it deepened a lot of self-love and time with yourself. You extend it to others in a different way, and it gave me a lot of compassion. Not that I was missing any of those things
Right.
before, but it deepens you in a different way.
Yeah.
And I'm still working towards, living a life with emotion but detachment, being more okay with the subtle and sometimes not so subtle nuances of change. Does that make
Hmm.
sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. You realize cancer shows you if you can survive it, that wow, when something happens that challenges you, you realize, wow, but I did that. So
Right.
is in perspective. What am I
Yeah.
afraid of? What am I afraid of? Something happens, a person, a place, a thing. What am I really? I'm afraid of that. So it gives you the power of perspective, truly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you hope that someone picking up your book and reading your most intimate groans in that time, what do you hope that they get from that experience?
Mm. Ah, it really boils down to love. Yeah. Um, Anytime I wrote, it was like writing to the light. And as long as I knew I could see the face, the light of love, I'd be okay. Even through that pit where it was so bad sometimes and so scary. If I could see that little palm, those fingertips in the dark trying to kind of take me up, I knew I'd be okay. And so a lot of times it's the trusting in whatever you believe. I'm a spiritual person. I'm not religious. I pray. I believe in the power of prayer and love and light and the divine and God, whatever you want to call. Don't get hung up on the titles. Feel it from your heart space. That if somebody can walk away feeling, wow, I'm held. I'm okay. Love's got me, then I did.
Mm.
So it transcends cancer into a sphere of love. So if you can just walk away knowing you are loved, then you can light your path and go forward.
That's beautiful.
Mm.
I think it also gives permission for people to feel and be honest with their feelings. I mean, seeing and reading the rawness, the intimacy of what you've shared in your book, I think it gives others that permission to feel, to express, to hurt, and to know they're not alone, and to see from that pain and anguish you experience, look at what has come from that. Look at the healing, the maturity, just the deeper sense of purpose and meaning of life, that you have garnered from that experience really comes through in your ramblings, as you call them.
I mean it. You remind me of a line from my book, and I always have my certain passages that are that I keep,
Yeah,
readily available as a reference for myself. And I don't know if I can read you a little bit.
please. I'd love that.
And it's towards the end, and it's Rambling 106, and it's called When It Drops Down Deep. I'll get to the tail end. Oh, it's hard to read your own words. When it drops down deep, you feel yourself in an endless ocean of love. When you feel it deeply, you fall into this knowing that can't be explained, just felt. All the rushing and doing become a not doing dance in the eternal space of life. What matters now? Breath and honoring its generosity in your living, in your loving. So cheers to life. And that's what I feel about it. Thank you for your words. Um, so my job is to honor my life by loving deeply. Honor life deeper. Yeah.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. One of the things that I understand was a key part of your healing that I would love to explore
Mhm.
with you is sound healing.
Yes.
Um, and this is really something that, and to me, was a bit new of a concept. So I'd love for you to educate our audience a little bit. First, how did you come to explore this, and kind of how did you use that in your healing journey?
Oh my gosh. Well, a few years ago, I got certified in yoga and chanting, sound, all the things. I went for an intensive, almost month long, at a place called Yandara, and so I got touched by the yoga and the sound and all the stuff and the kirtan and all that. Fast forward to cancer, and I'm midway through, and I get another one of those weird nudges of, telling me I need to get the crystal bowls. And I'm like, what? What? Well, and I'm not in a place to spend money, as your viewers going through cancer or whatever know.
Yeah.
I was unemployed for 2024 and living off my savings and fighting cancer. What am I going to do? Spend money now on the bowls. So I had an argument again with the divine, with whoever. And then I gave in, like the book, and I said, "Fine, I'm going to buy the bolts, and I'm going to justify it. It's a gift to myself because I'm almost done my chemo rounds. I'm
Mm.
towards the end now. It's going to be a gift. So when I get home, Amazon delivery, I have bolts, and I can get home. And my next round, in between my chemo, I get to open the boxes and just be a kid. Fine." So anyway, one thing leads into another, and I start playing and through my cancer and learning and researching and getting certified and all that stuff, and finding research that sound bathing with the bowls, the vibrations, the sounds actually make your cells more receptive to chemotherapy. So vibration is ancient. It's nothing that I've made up, and there's geniuses that can talk about it way better than I can. But I just have this affinity, this love, and I start to play as I play. And one thing led to another. Right out of chemotherapy, I started bringing it back into the studios that I was teaching at before cancer, and people were inviting me out and hearing about my sound. And I don't know if I'm doing it right or wrong. I just play from my heart.
Yeah.
And then fast forward, things develop, and you meet people like divine timing along your journey. I come across an incredible woman, Melissa Rosen, and she experiences my sound bath one day and was very complimentary. And her and I became fast friends. She comes up with this vision for the global sound bath, and she has a good friend who's ran Yoga Expo for 12 years, another fine mind and wellness and technology, Sandra Tribioli. And them two approach me, say they want to talk to me. I really thought, maybe they want to invite me to just play some bowls.
Yeah.
Well, no, they not only invite me, they've offered me the role of sound curator and program director on this huge initiative called Global Sound Bath, where we're debuting it in Miami in December. And it's going to be this hugely quantifiable, scientific, artistic healing expression where it's going to be 4 days of sound and wellness. And
Wow.
so, from the seed of the hospital walls and listening to the nudge, sound has come into my life like a full circle of expression. So I'm bringing my theatrical background and my wellness into this world of expression, and I'm really deeply honored that they would entrust me. So it's globalsoundbath.com, and we're welcoming people. I mean, to come buy a ticket, get on the wait list, come join. Or if you're a practitioner and you are love sound, join us, check it out. But that's my long journey. And I look at my bowls, Darcy, and I hold them. They've opened a whole world for me.
Mm.
They're deeply healing on the mind, the cells, everything. And when people walk away from my sessions, the most incredible thing is when people are like, wow, thank you. I feel so loved. Or I
Yeah.
feel like I was stuck on something and I got the answer. You know, like I had a student tell me she was stuck on how to edit a film for a long time. She took my session, my class. She walked away. She found the answer to her film. I got a credit in the end of it. It's so nice.
Oh.
Thank you. So basically, the power of sound to connect you into a deeper love and to open your mind to come into the macro sphere, you know? So yeah, sound is a very powerful thing, and I'm happy to expand upon it, in this evolution of my life.
No, that's incredible. And it was part of your healing journey as
Of my
well.
healing.
Yeah.
Absolutely. During chemotherapy, right after, and just doing it,
Yeah.
just serving it. Yeah.
I know for everyone's cancer journey is so individual,
Yeah.
but I think something that I can, really extract from our conversation today, and for you, sound was a huge role, but it's just finding that outlet, that can give you peace and perspective and something that you can pour into that is healing for you, whatever that might be, because it's
Mm.
different for different people. But I think that's really encouraging
Mm.
to explore
Yes. And
and
I'll
to
tell
be open to the nudges.
to be open, Dorsey. And I love that you say that because listen, and sound doesn't have to be one way either. Just like cancer isn't one way, healing, mourning, there is no one way. There's your way,
Yeah.
and then you can expand on your way by being open to other people's guidance and modalities and the wisdom of the
Mm-hmm.
world. But one thing that helped me as well, coming back to the power of sound, is what music makes you feel good, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So many times, in the moments that I didn't have my bolts, I would literally have my phone, and I would be walking with my chemo friend, and I'd have the music not in my earbuds, but actually playing. I
Oh.
was very into reggae, like really like the Bob Marley and all sorts of reggae. I don't even know the names. I was the reggae girl, like, and Julio Iglesias, completely
Oh,
polar
yes.
opposite. And I would go, they'd know, there she goes. And what was nice is I would see people in the rooms, cancer patients at different stages. Some people can't get out of their bed. They'd look over and I'd see the big smile. There she goes again, because as I come, the sound comes, the music.
Ah, what a
So,
blessing.
and I was like, and I knew in a way it was my way of championing, changing the vibration, the sound of the energy of the space. Whether you like reggae or not, you feel uplifted. There she
Yeah.
goes. And I knew it was for me and it was for those in the room, No one
Oh,
ever looked irritated. They were happy to feel the song. And
yeah.
so whatever you do, you can raise your vibrations in many ways. And sometimes it's just by played music. Maybe it's the background jazz. Maybe you can change the atmosphere of your hospital bed,
Mm,
with music, with
mm,
sound.
yeah. Oh, that's great. I love that. I know you have a lot of work to do and are so looking forward to this platform in December. But what else is on Sandy's horizon? I mean, you've done so many amazing things. Like, what are you looking for? What are you dreaming for next?
Oh my God. It's funny. People have asked me that. And what I'm dreaming for is exactly right here. I
Mm,
just want more of this. There is no there or that.
yeah.
Life is pretty damn beautiful now. I want to freeze frame it. I'm doing everything I love. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I've started writing my second book. And
Oh, wow.
yeah, it's a slower process because it just is. Death has a sense of urgency.
Mm.
You know what I mean? And life has a sense of slowness. You linger in love, right? And in death, there's that urgency to churn things out. I don't know how I wrote so fast. Everything that I did in that book was me and a keyboard, just writing, no support.
Yeah.
So I'm enjoying the slow journey of love on this chapter of this
Mm.
second book. So I'm writing my next book. Oh, there's a hummingbird at my window. Hi,
Oh,
Bridget.
that's
Um,
beautiful.
and I'm just looking forward to doing more of what I'm doing now and seeing where this gorgeous initiative with Global Sound Bath goes, because we have a vision to really take this globally, to different cities and to keep writing and to keep spreading love, to keep living a healthy life, to keep finding joy. The one thing I do have to look that I have on my 2026 to do, it's
Mhm.
my only one thing, because I'm so happy in the now, is 2026, I see a little dog in my future.
Oh.
I see myself rescuing a dog. But other than that, I'm just happy to let life unfold as it should and to trust the process. There's a lot of suffering if we desire so much, we lose in the moment.
Mm.
So yes, I love to look forward. There are things to look forward, but they're balanced in the now. So
Yeah.
yeah, I just want to keep creating, Darcy, spreading love, light through wellness, through yoga, through sound, through the arts, through my book. I want it to really, this is my book.
So
I,
beautiful.
I want it to keep touching people's lives. It makes me so happy. So
Yes.
seeing how the wheels churn and move, that is a joy to see the momentum of life and the
Yeah.
seeds sprout. Then stay open to whatever is next. You can't really predict too much. There's only so much you
Yeah.
can predict. Yeah.
And I really appreciate you talking about, not looking forward so much and just relishing in the moment and in the present. I hear that a lot from cancer survivors that it makes the sky bluer and sound richer and relationships deeper. And so many people say they didn't truly know what living in the moment and living in the present meant until cancer.
Hmm.
Mm.
Yeah, it's true. And again, it's balance. You have to have something to work towards. The
Yeah.
momentum is required because we all need purpose,
Yes.
right? Something to wake up to. So when you find that thing or things that you enjoy, wow, I get to wake up and do this. It keeps you going forward because you have a beautiful vision of more of what you have now forward,
Yes.
right? But I'm not lacking in anything that I
Yeah.
have to see forward for it to give me. I just want to continue expanding what I have now and grow it big forward.
Yes.
That's what I mean. So keep the vision on the forward. Envisioning is a powerful practice. And I wrote about it in my book, and it's one of the key things that got me out. I had two visions, and one of which, when they gave me the early diagnosis, I saw myself running on the beach, healthy, running. That's what I saw. So you
Yeah.
have to have a beautiful vision of your life, but it has to come from a balanced sweetness of I'm happy where I am now. There's nothing
Yes.
lacking. And it removes the suffering, you know? Yeah, and listen, I'm not perfect. I get moments, and then you realize that what's going on, get back into the now, realize that you are so abundant right now. Ask yourself, I love Michael Beckwith has a powerful transformative question, and it's as simple as this. How can it get better than this? How?
Mm.
You ask the universe several times a day, something good happens. I'm going to ask right now, I'm sitting with Darcy. Okay, I'm sitting with you. How can it get better than this? How? The universe goes, boop, 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 boop. Right? I'm going to give you more of what you're enjoying right now,
Mm.
right?
That's beautiful.
Yeah. So it's a real joy. So I'm open to all of it that, is in alignment.
So, for those who may be listening to us right now, who are facing their own diagnosis,
Mhm.
what would you want to say directly to them?
Hmm. I just want to say to you that you are loved. And that just keep leaning on love. Because it's not easy and it's scary and it's hard. Um, but just keep leaning on love. And sometimes it's as simple as repeating the word love. So it's a thing called love chants that I write about. And there were some dark pockets of the journey where there were no words or sentences to string except love. So I would just, in the middle of the night when you're hit with a paralyzing fear of rebuilding your life, oh, how am I going to start over again? You just repeat love, feel it in here. So sometimes it's as simple as love, 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 love. And that repetition starts to diminish all the other fear seeds and stuff. And then you feel good. Then guess what? It comes back. The mind brings you back that fear and that stuff you're feeling in the moment, which is legit. Come back to love, love, love. Keep leaning on love and keep some good books of strength close by. And my gosh, spend as much time as you can in nature and know that you're not alone, you know? Yeah, you are not alone. And I want to say a lot of things to you guys, going through it. I want to say a lot. But I want to say, envision yourself. What is the vision of yourself? My vision was me running on the beach. And then the other day I was running on the beach. See yourself in your healthiest state so you can support your healing as well with the beautiful marriage of science and medicine. So, but love is a powerful transformer. That word love really helped me through the pockets where you're just alone in your bed and it sucks. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much for that, Sandy.
You're
And
very
thank you for your just the intimacy of sharing your story and your message of hope today. Can't wait to dig into your book and encourage
welcome.
others to do that as well. And thank you all for joining us for this episode of Hope in the Face of Cancer. If you or someone you love is facing cancer, CanCare is here to support you. Visit us at cancare.org to learn more. Until next time, remember, there is always hope in the face of cancer. Thank you for joining us on this episode of Hope in the Face of Cancer, a survivor by your side. If you or someone you know is facing cancer or is supporting a loved one through their journey, we invite you to share this podcast. Thank you for your support in our efforts in the cancer community. No one should face cancer alone.